It all started with a call of service at a grocery store. The manager called saying that there was a 18-year-old shoplifting. So he got charged with shoplifting, spent the night over at the detention center. Later, when I did a follow-up with him, he explained his situation where he was homeless, living in a tent. His biggest needs were he was struggling to get some food and didn't have any job to bring home any income. From my experience with the military, you're fed, you get a place to sleep, and you get paid for it.
Deputy Sanders gives me a call. He's like, hey man, I got this situation. This is who I am. There's a kid that's in a bad situation. I want to know if you can help him. And I was like, absolutely. Like, what are we dealing with? I actually met him at a Starbucks, and I had a description of what this young man apparently looked like. And I pulled in the Starbucks, and I saw him, and I was like, rolled down the window. I was like, hey, are you Brian? And he was like, yes, sir. I was like, come on, man, get in.
And I was like, well, I don't really know what I want to do. And so that's where he brought up the Marines. And I was like, you know what? Let's just go for it. I met with the recruiter. Everything was cool and signed the papers. I mean, this is way better off than I thought I would be. I
wasn't trying to, quote unquote, recruit Private Gilbert. I wanted to give him an opportunity to do something with his life if he was willing to take that challenge, which he did. I think the biggest impact is just when they eventually make it and they graduate. You know, they earn the EGA, or the Eagle, Globe, and Anchor, that, you know, we have in the Marine Corps. And when I saw him at graduation, it's just so impactful that you literally took a young man that was struggling, and then because of one phone call, to then just trust me to do my job as a recruiter at the time, to take Brian and put him where he's at now, which is on a road to success. I mean, it's great.
I did tell him before he left that I would do my best to attend his graduation. I was able to. He was grinning ear to ear. He gave me a hug and he said thanks for all the help.
I saw him at graduation, and you know, I also shook his hand after I gave Brian a hug, and I told him, I said, this is because of you.
I'm planning on calling him as often as I can, check up on him.
I talk to him all the time. He's a great person to go to. I mean, I can talk to him about anything, and he's always there to just listen.
The biggest takeaway is that there are all sorts of different people within this agency and around our lives that have different experiences and know how difficult life can be sometimes. And if you're willing to ask for help, there's plenty of people out here that are going to help.
There are resources. You really just have to put your pride aside and ask for it.
It took one phone call from a deputy to a Marine Corps recruiter to get someone from, you know, in a terrible situation in the woods to, you know, where he's at now in a full career with a salary. So one phone call can absolutely make a difference.